In today's episode, I'm going to share with you a concept about winning in the margins. This is something that I learned from a book this is pretty much saving over and above. So sometimes we may feel like I can't save, I don't have money. But how can we intentionally find the areas where we can, save a little bit, I agree that we cannot save our way to being wealthy. You can only save so much. At a certain point, you have to make more money, plain and simple. But just because that we need to make more money, the money that we already have with us, we can make it go a little further. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is the Personal Finance and Coffee Podcast, and on this channel we talk about money and finances. How do we manage the money that we make? How do we make it grow so that we work for 5-10 years and we feel like I know where my money went, I see where it went. That feeling of I've worked for this long and I don't see my money, I have not attained my goals is very, very frustrating. So the goal of this podcast is so that we break that pattern and we attain the goals that we want. If this is something you find interesting, please like, please subscribe so that you don't miss upcoming episodes. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to share with you a concept about winning in the margins. This is something that I learned from a book that I read called, he explained about winning in the margins. Now, this is pretty much saving over and above. So sometimes we may feel like I can't save, I don't have money. But how can we intentionally find the areas where we can, save a little bit. So I'm going to share with you what I'm doing. In this episode, I'm sharing with you what I'm doing, what is working for me, and my intention is that maybe to give you some ideas on what you can do as well. This is what I'm doing right now. One final disclaimer before I get into what I'm doing to win in the margins, what I'm doing to save some more is I agree that we cannot save our way to being wealthy. You can only save so much. At a certain point, you have to make more money, plain and simple. But just because that we need to make more money, the money that we already have with us, we can make it go a little further. And this is what I'm doing. The first thing that I'm doing to save a little more is, at the beginning of the year, in January, I started the challenge. I gave myself a challenge to save as many coins as I can throughout the year. Now, I've never done this consistently. In the past, there's a time I would start. I'd buy that cup box, the wooden box. I think I feel like everyone has had this experience. Please share your story about that wooden box. Let me share mine. Please share your story about your experience with that wooden saving box. So, I think it was about 2020. I said, okay, I'm buying my wooden box. I went, I bought it, I started putting in coins. Now, it was one evening, and we had no electricity. And I had no money. I decided, you know what? The only money I had was my box money. So I broke the box, and I was forced to go and buy electricity so that we had power with the money from that box. Now, that's the experience I've had. And another time, I think there are a number of experiences, but that's the story I wanted to tell you. What's your story? Please share with us in the comments below. I'm looking forward to hearing your stories. So this year I told myself, Gabby, let's give this another try. So I went to Centenary. Okay, I'm usually around Centenary Bank. And then there are these Be Money Wise piggy banks. So I got a piggy bank, and then I said, I want to put coins, throughout this year. And that's the first challenge. So that's what I've been doing. That's how I'm winning in the margin. Anytime I have coins, I put them in. Anytime I have coins, I put them in. That's my first way of winning in the margins. Now, this is not a lot of money. But if I was not collecting these coins, I would have spent it. So that's what I mean by winning in the margins. It does not mean that I'm not saving anywhere else. It does not mean that I'm not investing, I'm not trying to earn more money. It's my extra saving for the year. Later on, I want to explain to you why I've been able to keep consistent with saving these coins for the past 6 months. And I'm fairly confident that hopefully I will be able to follow through all the way to December. Maybe we can open the piggy bank together and see how much I've actually saved in coins at the end of December. If I keep up with it, I'll make that video. Let's wait and see. But anyway, now, so I saved those coins. So that's the first way. The second way that I'm trying to save money in the margins is through the weekly rollover. I have an episode where I explained how I give myself pocket money. I make the budget, and every week I give myself an allowance. So what I'm trying to do is, if at the end of the week I have saved some money, like I've not spent the money that I put, I've not finished it, like I've not spent all transport for whatever reason. Like recently we had a week where we had 2 public holidays in the week. That means that the money that I had allocated for transport, I did not spend. The money that I allocated for work meals, I did not spend. So now that is money that remained in my envelopes, and that is money that remained in my envelopes, and now I will be able to set it aside. It's the challenge. The challenge is to set it aside. Because in the past, I would have spent that money on other things. You know, girl math, feeling like extra money, free money. I'm trying to control that impulse and now set it aside. Those are the 2 ways that I'm trying to win in the budgets. Now, so far I've been consistent with it. And I wanted to share with you what I think is helping me keep consistent. The first thing that is really helping me is being able to have a budget that takes me through the month. When I have this budget and it is realistic, I shared with you an episode when my budget didn't take me through the month, it took me mid-month. And when I set a budget that is realistic, this means that I'm able to not touch this money that I have saved because I have money that is allocated for the other weeks. All factors constant when there are no emergencies. But if I don't have that budget, that means when I run out of money, I'll go back to the one that I set aside previously. So I will not be making progress. I'll just be putting, removing, which can be discouraging. So I think that is what is helping this system work for me so far. That is what I think is helping me. Now, what is my intention for this money? Now, the intention for this money is I have a number of things that I want to make progress on. When it comes to the weekly rollover, the money that I save every week, there are different categories. So any money that I save under transport, I want to set it aside to continue saving up for a car. I made an episode of how I'm starting my journey to owning my car. So it's not the only money guys, this one won't get me to my car. I know. It's just trying to win in the margins, but I'm still trying to make more money. So I set it aside, any money that I save in transport, I set it aside to the car section. So that is what the money that I save in transport is for. And then the money that I save in other areas is to work towards building sinking funds for specific categories. Now, I have an episode about sinking funds and what they are. But generally, this is when you set aside money over the months so that you have a lot of money that accumulates for specific expenses. For example, I'm trying to create a sinking fund for the medical expenses that show up when you don't expect. We all know those hospital bills for children, guys. Yeah. Then I'm trying to create a sinking fund for the bulk shopping. I usually do bulk shopping at the beginning of the month. But when I do at the beginning of the month, this one is primarily to take us through the month. So if I use 4 bars of soap through the month, it's what I'm trying to buy. But the goal of this sinking fund for bulk shopping is so that now I'm able to buy a box of soap. Because in the long run, it will save me more money. Now, you may be wondering, but Gabby, why don't you just buy a box of soap? You know, if you have money that is in your sinking fund, if you have money that's in your emergency fund, why don't you just buy the things in bulk? I don't know. In my head, I compartmentalize certain things. This may be unrealistic. This may even be petty, you know. But when the finances are tight, this is how I'm trying to get ahead of certain things. And I'm sharing them with you. Perhaps you're in the same situations. Perhaps you're not. Maybe you can just go and buy a box of soap and a sack of rice and a sack of, portion and sugar. But I'm trying to slowly give myself this challenge that in any week that I spend slightly less than what I had planned for in food. For example, if they've sent us food from if they sent us food from the village, that means that my weekly spending on food has reduced. I set aside a bit of that money so that when the money adds up, I'm able to buy in bulk. That's my challenge in that category. And then I have a sinking fund for personal, for me as Gabby. So if there are any specific things that I want to buy in the future, guys, I really don't like shopping. But anyway, if there are things that I need to buy, it could be shoes, it could be bags, it could be clothes, I just collect the money and choose what I want to do with it at that point, whatever choice I want to have. Or it could be a social event, whatever. So I split it in percentages, or depending on where the most urgent need is. So this is more of a challenge. That's for the weekly rollover. Now my plan for the coins that I'm collecting, currently my plan for these coins is to use them to top up for my life policy. Now let me explain. The life policy that I'm getting, I pay every 6 months. I pay the premium every 6 months. So the minimum for a life insurance policy is 100,000. But you can pay that 100,000 every month, or you can pay that 100,000 every 3 months, or every 6 months. So the payment option I'm choosing is 6 months. So I want to, every 6 months, I want to look at how much do I have in the coins, and then I'm able to see what do I need to top up. So by the time the 5-year policy has ended, all these coins that I've collected over the years are now in that policy. So that is what I want to use it for. So that I feel the value, I feel the value of my coins. I feel the value of my coins. Anyway, guys, I think this is just a hobby for me. But that is the idea that I have currently in my mind when it comes to those coins. Now you may be wondering, but Gabby, how do you know how much you have in your coins if you don't see? I track all my spending, and I track my spending in a budget template. I sell it, and I'll have a link in the description below. I have 2 versions. I have one that I sell, which I currently use. The one that I sell has all the 6 months. It has all the 12 months and the summary page for the whole year. So they're all linked. Then the one that I share with you for free, so that you can get started, is one sheet, like the spending. I made an episode about it. The one that I have for free is one document, and every month you just make a copy of the sheet and you use it. These documents are in Google Sheets. They are not Excel. They are in Google Sheets, so they are online. I use Google Sheets because I don't want my computer to crash and then I don't have my budget for years. But that's personal preference. I know you can save your Excel in Dropbox, but that's personal preference. I'm digressing. So that's the goal. So when I'm tracking my spending, if I put money in the coin, if I put money in the piggy bank, I write down in my Excel sheet, this is where that I put 700 shillings into the piggy bank, or I put 2,000 in the piggy bank. So on the summary page, I can see that in January, I saved this much in the piggy bank, February, so I can see cumulatively how much is in my piggy bank at any one time. So if the 6-month point when I'm supposed to pay the premium for that policy has come, and I see how much is there, then I can choose to open the piggy bank and make the payment to the insurance policy. If that is what I do, I'll make an episode, either at the end of the year or at the time I'm breaking the piggy bank to pay the premium, so that I can see that my coins are accumulating. Anyway, that is how I'm winning in the margins. Please, what are your thoughts on this? You may feel like it's tedious, but I think I just enjoy this process. Yeah, because sometimes people feel like it's tedious, and you're like, where do you get the time and energy to do all this, Gabby, with everything in life, with work and YouTube and my full-time job? I think I just enjoy this whole process. For me, at this point, I've come to terms with myself that this is like a hobby that I just enjoy doing, and the intention of sharing it with you here is maybe I can give you ideas if you're curious about it, because I also learn about these things on other people's platforms, and it's where I get my ideas, and I watch their videos and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. This is how I can make it work for myself. That's how I get my ideas. So what are your thoughts? Please leave your comment below. I respond to all my comments, and every morning I look forward to checking your comments and replying them. And if you've watched till the end, thank you so much. Please leave an image of a piggy bank, like, not a pig, like a piggy bank emoji in the comments, so that I can see that you're one of the people that watch to the very end. Not everyone does, and you're special. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're getting started, I'm going to have a video here where I talk about having a sinking fund, and then I'll also have a video on this side where I talk about how I pay myself pocket money weekly, and the budget binders, how I use them, because these are things that keep me going. Yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye guys.